Alright, today's new series called Funny Does Fanfic Readings, and this is called Joe's Suggestion Dipper Goes to Taco Bell Full Story. Now, this is some weird ass shit right now. Anyway, it was a normal day in Gravity Falls, Oregon. Well, as normal as Gravity Falls gets, anyways. Dipper Pines was reading his book, and Mabel, his twin sister, was wondering what he was doing. Dipper, are you going to keep your nose buried in that strange book of yours all summer? You gotta go out, have an adventure, Mabel exclaimed. Not now, Dipper said quietly. I'm going to decode this. He was looking at a cryptogram that said, Zizlaflaw autistic, whatever the fuck this is, QB QXZLYBII. Dipper was officially stumped. He could not figure out what it meant, and it seemed very mysterious to him. Grunkle Stan is going to take us to the diner for lunch, Dipper, Mabel exclaimed. Dipper, however, was not in the mood for the diner.
What the freaking
He was publicly humiliated last time he went, and he thought the food wasn't very good anyway. Mabel, I don't want to go to the diner, Dipper said solemnly. I want to go somewhere else. But there's really nothing else in town, unless you count the Taco Bell near the forest, Mabel replied. Taco Bell? Dipper's ears perked up. He had never eaten at Taco Bell before, and ever since last week, he had a craving for Mexican food for some reason. Why don't we go to Taco Bell today? Dipper asked. Taco Bell? Grunkle Stan questioned. Why do you want to go there? It smells like the bathroom when it gets clogged. I had my heart set on pancakes, Mabel moaned. Listen, you can go to Taco Bell if you want to, but don't come crying to me when you smell like expired onions. Fine, I will, Dipper said harshly. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, Grunkle Stan said. But as he was exiting the mystery shack, the door hit him on the way out. Ah ha ha ha, said Grunkle Stan. He was laughing. So anyways, Mabel and Grunkle Stan went to the diner while Dipper tried to find the Taco Bell. He had brought with him his book and a couple bucks. But finding the Taco Bell was harder than he had previously thought. He had been looking around town for what seemed like days. The mystery book wasn't helping him either. Until he saw a flicker of the sign in the forest, he went into the forest. Why would there be a Taco Bell in the forest? Dipper asked himself. After hiking for about an hour, Dipper finally got to the Taco Bell, but it sure didn't look like any Taco Bell he'd ever seen. It was surrounded by a barrage of giant oak trees in an open field, completely different from the rugged terrain of the Oregon forest. Oh, my bad. I need a little breather here. The open,
frick anonymous? Let him read it.
the open. You gonna let me laugh and spurt out again? The open field was covered with at least 3 layers of pine
Anonymous,
needles,
shut up.
which got the attention of Dipper. He stuck his hand into the pine needles. Ow! Dipper shouted. A pine needle poked him. It hurts. The restaurant, Taco Bell, looked like a silo, sort of. Well, it was very cylindrical. The outside had rusty picnic tables, and it looked like no one used them at all. Dipper walked up to the restaurant's door. Should I go in there? Dipper asked himself. I'm starting to have second thoughts. Why is there a small, desolate Taco Bell in this forest, miles from the nearest road? But I guess it's my only option. Mabel and Grunkle Stan are probably done with their lunch right now. And they were. Mabel wondered why Dipper hadn't come back yet, but Grunkle Stan didn't give a damn. So Dipper entered the restaurant, but he was relieved to see that the interior was normal, except for its high ceiling. There were also no customers inside, but Dipper thought that was normal, considering how the franchise was so isolated. He went up to the counter. There was only one cashier working the registers, a very old, slightly deaf, bored out of his skull cashier. Dipper decided that he wanted to order, then approached the register. Excuse me, Olaf, we only got tacos. The cashier interrupted. Okay, I guess I'll have a taco then, Dipper said. What did you say? The cashier yelled. I said, I want a taco. Dipper yelled back. Okay then, the cashier said, then went in the back for a few minutes. When he came out, he was carrying Dipper's taco. That'll be $1, the cashier said. Dipper gave him the money, and went to sit down at the least grimiest table. He bit into the hot, spicy, juicy taco filled with thick, pure meat, mild, tantalizing black beans, and sour, fluffy sour cream. He
What about
enjoyed a
white
single
beans?
bite of that perfectly cooked
It's kind of
taco
racist.
and still tasted it in his mouth after he swallowed it. But as he was about to bite into it a second time, he felt a churning movement inside his body, something that he had felt often. Uh-oh, Dipper said, then rushed to find the lavatory. Man, that really went through me, Dipper said to himself. For some reason, the bathrooms were hidden in a corner far from the counter and far from the table he was sitting at. When he walked in, he found that the bathrooms were surprisingly clean, for a fast food restaurant anyway, and Dipper found this suspicious. All of the stalls were full, and no one was using their urinals. But right on cue, someone walked out of one of the stalls. Dipper didn't pay much attention to who was walking out, but he was wearing all black and had a plastic bag with him. Dipper just had to go. In chapter 2,
There's nothing wrong. Just keep going.
but as he was about to bite into it a second time, he felt a churning movement inside his body, something that he had felt often. Uh-oh,
Super
Dipper
duper
said,
doo!
then rushed to find the lavatory. Man, that really went through me, Dipper said to himself. For some reason, the bathrooms were hidden in the corner, far from the counter, and far from the table.
I
he
need
was
to
sitting at.
interrupt real quick. I've got the fucking shits tonight. Have you guys cursed me with your Dipper Taco Bell thing?
I don't know. No.
No.
Just let Funny keep going. Just let him keep going. Go ahead, Funny. Keep going.
Okay, the bathrooms singing far from blah blah blah. Okay, anyway. When he walked in, he found that the bathrooms were surprisingly clean for a fast food restaurant anyway, and Dipper found this suspicious. All of the stalls were full, and no one was using the urinals. But right on cue, someone walked out of one of the stalls. Dipper
It's
didn't
kinda
pay
far
much attention to who was walking out, but he was wearing all black and a plastic bag with him. Dipper decided to go. Fortunately, he didn't make it in time. He checked his pants and found the worst of all. Diarrhea, Dipper said. Yeah. He was about to leave the stall when he noticed the bulges in his pants. He touched the bulge, and once he touched it, he knew exactly what it was. It was an erection. He found himself completely aroused after touching it.
Guys, I think we're all pedophiles now.
No, keep going.
I'm not an adult, so
And started to do it some more. Okay, you're making me read this horrible shit. Eventually, he
Keep
was
going.
ready
What
to
are you talking
hardcore.
about?
He was ready to hardcore masturbate. He didn't know what was arousing him, but he knew he was aroused. He took off his blue shorts and his soiled underwear, revealing his medium-sized but not small penis. The tip was bright and red, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Dipper started to yank his Johnsons harder and faster. The 5-incher was getting pumped. Dipper's soiled hands started to feel bits of pre-cum on his dry fingers. Eventually, the medium-sized dick couldn't take any more and burst into an explosion of cum. The cum got all over the walls and toilet, and Dipper felt proud. He had creamed himself for the first time, but he was upset that it was not over Wendy. No, Dipper thought, all this is not enough for me. I need to release all of this. Chapter 3. With his erection still active, Dipper began yanking his penis again. It was much quicker, and Dipper cummed quicker. It was a bigger release than last time, and it
Wait,
began
hold
to...
this for a second. We need to get everyone in voice chat to talk. Everyone in voice chat needs to come here. Like this
Oh.
here, get in VC.
No. They don't want to join, though.
And
You know, hold on, hold on. How about this? We'll trick them. We'll trick them, and Funny, you'll continue to where we got. All right.
Oh, but that will ruin the recording anyway. Okay. Yang his
No, no,
penis
no, no, it's
again. It
okay.
was much quicker, and Dipper come quicker. It was a bigger release than last time. Began to rain Dipper's seed. Okay. Anyway, it's still out. Okay. Dipper felt more proud than last time. His heart about to burst from all of the droplets of cum calling down from the ceiling. He felt as happy as he felt on the day of the first snowfall of the year. He stuck out his tongue to taste the cum, shiny from the faulty fluorescent lighting in the bathroom. He tasted it, and he thought it was one of the best tasteful things in the world. Better than the largest chocolate bar. Better than the rarest pig, and better than the taco he was having earlier. By now he couldn't stop. He couldn't leave now and miss out on this great masturbation adventure. He wanted to taste the cum. He scraped a handful of it off the stall and put it in his dirty, wet mouth. He grabbed another and another and another. He was getting more aroused by consuming the cum, and he released another load. So that's where it's all coming from, Dipper said to himself, cum all over his face and teeth. Dipper came up with a solution to get a more hardcore adult masturbation experience. He was going to put it into action. He tilted his head down, sat down on the cum-covered ground, grabbed his hardened Johnson and stuck it in his mouth. Once it was firmly in, Dipper began to suck on the very hard rod. He sucked it like a lollipop.
God.
He got a county fair a while back and tasted a lot like it too. Jesus.
You know, the part about him coming everywhere.
The legs were so
Like,
expertly over his
sucking on
shoulder
dick.
that he could have been a gymnast. The more he sucked on his hard dick. What the fuck is this shit?
He could have
Not this
been a
far.
gymnast.
I think I had to turn up Anonymous's volume just in case if he spurts out while I'm reading. I got in the county fair a while back. Tastes a lot like it too. Anyway, Rouse like shook. Eventually, just when he was going to give out, he came in his mouth. It was the best thing he ever experienced. He and kept on performing fellatio on himself, or whatever the fuck that word is. As he was stimulating himself orally, he accidentally fell over the side. He broke from his penis and cummed on the floor. The floor was covered in so much of Dipper's cum that he started to make a snow angel in the cum, or cum
my
angel.
God.
He was eating some of the. How is this even reasonable? But then he looked to the side and it immediately became so hard that the red tip was touching his short pubic hair. He saw what was cussing it. Oh!
Wait, did he
saw
wrap
his-
his dick around himself or something?
He saw what was cussing it.
Oh,
He saw his underwear covered in dark brown feces. He held up his underwear, which was covered in the cum-filled floor, and marveled at his erotic beauty. The feces were so beautifully ejaculated, so smooth in sticky brownness, so perfect they felt in Dipper's white hands. He wanted his shit. He held the brown underwear like a fish on a lure and put his sticky white lips into the sticky brown feces. Oh no, don't! Jesus! His tongue was rubbing the crap all over his tidy whites, making his mouth all a brownish white mess. He was biting into the shit. No! Jesus Christ! Oh shit.
I don't know. I read through the chat and like I thought it was actually done because fucking Joe said at me and said it was done. And I couldn't bring myself to get up from my
God.
chair.
well, we're done with
He
the
was-
first two
He
chapters.
was
If
biting
that's
it.
okay. If
Okay, let me finish continuing. He was biting this shit and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it was more stimulating than ever before. He now knew
You
that he
don't
didn't
have
need
to do
Wendy
this funny.
or Mabel or any of the other girls in Gravity Falls. All he needed was a big pile of his shit. He took a scoop of the feces. He had a lot of diarrhea and began to spread it over his dick. Every time he spread the crap, he was getting more aroused. I hate you, Joe. Screw you,
What
Joe.
are you
You fucking asshole.
Oh, you gotta replace. No, just replace Dipper with Joe.
We'll just replace
what?
the.
That's even worse. Who would want to think of me
We'll just-
doing all
We'll
this?
just have to replace it with fucking.
I'm dead.
We have to.
So Joe grabbed the brown
It was
boy
like-
species and
It took a scoop. He had a lot of it. Began to spread it over his dick. Every time he spread the crap, he was getting more and more aroused. Once his dick was completely brown, he came again. It filled up all the spots in the stall that weren't covered in Dipper's cum. Once again, Dipper took big scoops of cum and consumed it in large gulps.
Joe. Joe, not
Now,
Dipper.
Dipper had to put the brown sticky pieces all over his penis again, and boy, did he do a good job. The brown stuff was all over his external genitals and his testicles. He had come a few
He
times
did
here
a
and
good
there.
job.
Now his beautiful brown genitals needed to be cleaned, but Dipper didn't have any cleaning supplies, so he had to suck the shit off. He brung his erection up to his mouth and began to suck. This time he made it very clear to lick the feces off with his tongue. Why? Jesus! And as soon as the tongue touched his dick, he come.
Joe, you sick
He was
pervert.
having the most fun he had ever had in that bathroom stall, and forgot who he was, where he lived, where he was, or what
They
he was
should have
eating.
wrote this thing in
all
first
that
person.
was on his mind was his street cum. He just thought of a great idea to be continued. We're just gonna replace Dipper with Randy Stare.
Wait, just think about this. What if someone wrote it in first person?
Oh
Like,
God!
I am Dipper. I wrap the brown feces around my
Fucking
hand.
It
hell.
gets worse.
Chapter
We can
4.
make it nasty.
Dipper took a scoopful of diarrhea and a scoopful of cum and put it in the toilet. He flushed it, but before it went all the way down, he grabbed a wet pile of shit and cum and stuck. Why does it have to be this? I hate myself now. I'm gonna kill myself the next time. Stuck in his mouth.
You know, you should
Dip-
find Joe and strangle him to death while he throws a knife through
Dipper
you.
was consuming all of the shit, cum, and toilet water, and it tasted great. He kept on doing it for God knows how long. One of the times, he hit his head against the toilet rim. Dipper's brain must have been knocked out of place at that time, because this time, instead of putting the shit and cum in his food hole, he started to lather it on his penis. I'm gonna get myself knocked out. I'm gonna get swatted.
Why? It's a good fan fiction. It's very well written.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Pussy! Look at my pussy. I put it in voice
Instead
chat.
of Dipper was knocked out, blah, blah, blah. He started lathering the penis. He wanted more of his Johnson, but that would be a fatal mistake. Once it was covered in, he put it in his mouth and began sucking, but did it too hard. As he was sucking and coming, he accidentally bit on his dick. As soon as he tasted the blood, he
He
broke out of
accidentally
coitus.
what?
He accidentally
He
bit
ex-
on his dick.
He accidentally bit on his dick.
As soon as
What?
he tasted the blood, he broke out of coitus and saw his lacerated
Wow, that
penis.
is a
He saw a mix of blood and cum coming out of it, like a lava, and his
Anonymous, I like the
erectile
setup.
muscle pointing
at
out.
least it isn't diarrhea.
Burr grabbed it and grimaced in pain.
Cum
He
pit.
winced at it and looked horrified. He snapped out of it all and tried to figure out a solution to the castration. He put some more diarrhea and
You
cum
know,
on it,
they're
but that
forgetting a
didn't
key
stop
term
it.
in this.
Oh
Why is
God!
there any piss?
I'll be right back. Stop being
Where's
recording
the
for a
pit
sec.
at?